last night, we talked about it in the first hour, just as far as the Lakers being beaten. Up 26 late in the second quarter against hapless, and I do mean hapless. Probably the worst team in the league, Rob.
Right. 0-4. Right. They have a young, this is like full-blown rebuild, Chris.
Absolutely.
Full-blown.
Absolutely. And the Lakers let them come back and win that game. And at the end, so here we are. They go up 3. I don't know, it's a few minutes left. A few seconds left. Game's over. All right, game's over. Darius Bazley steals a pass. Now, the steal was legit. Like, Lakers are trying to get the ball in. They got a shot. You know, they're going to try to throw up a desperation 3 and maybe tie it. Bazley slips in, steals the ball at half court, and has momentum, and he just goes all the way with his momentum and throws down a ferocious celebratory dunk.
I'm glad you said that.
Right?
You just said the right word,
If he tried to stop,
Chris.
he might have traveled.
But you said the right word, the momentum. That was the play. You don't stop, Chris, on that. Nobody would stop. Absolutely. And it wasn't a 10 or 15-point game. Russell Westbrook chirping at him, going at the kid. You should have been that upset when you were coughing up a 26-point lead.
Well, we're going to hear from Westbrook, Rob. Yeah, we're going to hear from him. I mean, Bazley threw it down. You know, it was a nice, dunk. He hung a little bit on the rim. Nothing crazy, but it wasn't taunting him. It was just a good dunk. And Westbrook, as you said, Rob, gets in his face. Game's over. They're up 5. It's like a second left, whatever. Westbrook gets in his face. Don't do that. Don't do that. First of all, don't be telling me. You my opponent, dude.
Right.
Don't
be
telling
on my
me
team.
what I can and can't do, right? And he gets a technical. It was his second of the game. He's ejected. And after the game, Rob, he went on about why he was upset with Bazley. He was a young kid, a third-year player. Had a game high, season high for him, Rob, 20 points. So he's excited. Played a really nice game. And Westbrook, here's what he said after the game.
What were your thoughts on the ejection?
It is what it is. I don't think I got the first tag, honestly. The first one wasn't even a tag. The last one was a tag. That's cool, but just how I play the game, I take it on the chin and move on. But, in game of basketball, certain things you just don't do. Like in baseball, flip the bat. And certain things you just don't do in sports. Game already over, and I didn't like it. Simple as that.
What didn't he like, Chris? What I get it if it's 15 points, you're up by 10 or 15, and somebody's putting up a shot or a dunk or something, Chris, at the end of a meaningless game like that. But that was a natural play. It wasn't rubbing anything. The game was in the balance up until that point. What is he supposed to do?
Yeah,
stop
I totally agree
stop so you can foul him. He misses the 2 free throws. You get the ball back.
And
really?
they were up 5 when he made the steal.
Right. I'm just saying,
with a few seconds left, 3 seconds left, he steals it, finishes with the dunk, put him up 7. It's definitely over. But to your point, it wasn't a blowout. It wasn't impossible for the Lakers to come back. And Westbrook was tripping. And first of all, let me say this: you can flip bats now, right?
Yes.
All the youngsters like it. They're flipping bats. If you haven't gotten the memo, they're putting the fun back into baseball.
Yes, they are flipping.
All right, so that's number one. They're flipping. But, Rob, I just, in general, and I agree with you. If they were blowing them out, maybe
you don't do that, right?
But I got to be honest, even then, I don't think I'd be tripping. Because I just don't. I'm not here for the
I don't think you would go.
athlete.
I don't think you would go in for a basket, Chris. Up 15. I just don't.
If you do or don't, I don't care. All right, we're professional athletes. You're being paid. I'm being paid. Don't get you. If you don't like us running up the score, if you don't like me throwing down a nasty dunk at the end of a blowout game, you should have played better. Defend us. And Westbrook, Rob, of all people, he's one that plays all 48 minutes as if they all are important. How you getting mad at somebody? I mean, you play every minute like it's your last. So Bazley did the same thing, and now you're mad at him. I just don't, Rob, you know me. Like, y'all pros. This isn't CYO. This isn't YBA. We're not trying to teach, family values through sport. We're trying to win and if I'm winning, I can do whatever I want within the rules. You can get mad all you want, but when we play you next time, you'll have your chance to retaliate. But I just don't. I'm not here for getting all mad at an opponent for dunking.
Chris, here's probably the all-time greatest quote ever when it talks about running the score up and doing. Do you remember? You might remember this, but for younger people listening, man, this is Woody Hayes, the legendary coach of Ohio State, was up in a game. Chris, you remember this? I mean, just the legend of it. They were up 5 touchdowns late against Michigan in 1968. And the Buckeyes,
right?
And the Buckeyes went for 2, Chris. They're up 5 touchdowns. They went for 2. So they asked Woody Hayes after the game why he went for 2. You know what his quote was?
No.
Because I couldn't go for 3.
I do remember that quote. The legend.
Is that not classic?
Right. And look, those guys aren't being paid. Obviously, it's rubbing it in.
Right.
But it is what it is. And again, that's college. So, these are students. They're not getting paid. You want a little more sportsmanship then. But, Rob, I like I said, and I hear you. I don't know that I do that in a blowout. But I'm also not about to get on a soapbox and kill somebody for dunking if they were up 15. I mean, we're paid. We're professionals.
I just didn't like. I thought Westbrook was way out of line, and somebody should have checked him to be like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, you're worried about that? We just lost the game.
Worry about your 10 turnovers.
Right, your 10 turnovers and blowing a 26-point lead. What was the record? 230-0 when you were up by 25 or more in the last 25 games. The Lakers never lost a game. I watched the post game last night, and James Worthy was so disgusted. He was like, he said, I can't remember a game like this ever. Like, ever.
Because there wasn't one.
Right, he said it.
But you're right.
You know what I mean?
Said what, Rob G?
He also said they should go back to L.A. on a Greyhound.
Yes, he did. Rob G, you saw the post game. Was he not pissed?
Oh, he was heated. It was great to watch.
It was great to watch. I couldn't wait to watch the post game. I couldn't. It was great.
I mean, there is no excuse for that. Absolutely no excuse. And Rob, and Westbrook was not the only reason they lost.
No.
But when you look at some of those turnovers, my goodness. I mean, one, he drove into the middle of the paint, got up in the air, turned around, and just threw the ball back toward half court to nobody. And it was stolen. One, he threw out of bounds to there were some just straight up bloopers type turnovers by Westbrook. It was crazy. But you hit it on the head earlier, Rob. Their defense.
They can't stop anybody, Chris.
No, and I honestly, I think it's age. That's a big part of it. And now, Rob, when we have Kerry Kittles on, former NBA player, he is always constantly telling us to play defense in the league today is so much tougher than it used to be. Because you can't hand check, we know that. But you also got a guard out on the perimeter. Bigs, like at least 4 of your defenders, Rob, have to be able to guard on the perimeter. And maybe 5, right? And it takes wear and tear. It wears you out. It's harder to stay in front of these young guys. And that is what the problem that the Lakers are having, Rob. And last night, Oklahoma City, we mentioned worst team in the league. They were one of 5 teams at the bottom of the league at 40% shooting.
Right.
Against the Lakers, it was just what the doctor ordered. Because they not only shot 50% overall,
wow,
they actually shot 40% from 3. And so the Lakers defense, Rob, another stat, first time in franchise history that they've given up 115 points or more in the first 5 games of a season.
Say that one more time.
First time in franchise history that they have given up 115 points or more in each of the first 15 games of the season.
Never
I'm
happened
sorry,
before.
each of the first 5 games.
Right,
of the season.
5. It's never happened
It's
before.
never happened till now.
They're
And
not
that
guarding.
number could go to 6,
they can't
go to
defend.
7. No.
And then, Chris, you talked about it. We're not rubbing it in. Nobody's trying to.
I picked the Lakers to win the West. I'm
No,
definitely not
right.
rubbing it in.
But I'm saying, the next part I want you to talk about is Carmelo Anthony, which you nailed yesterday. I mean, straight up, when somebody called up talking about Carmelo and whatnot, and you just said you can't.
Talking like he's going to be an all-star this year.
Right. Do you remember? And you just said you can't count on him every night, not when you're 37 years old. And what happened last night?
13 points, 5 of 14 shooting. 1 of 8 from Trey and an air ball down the stretch. Got a nice steal. Could have tied it, I believe, with a 3 and airballed it. And again, it's not picking on Melo, it's age.
Right.
He had 28 points a few nights ago,
And
when
he looked
passed
great the other
Moses
night.
Malone,
And he looked great.
And everybody's thinking, it's a big 4.
Yep.
Forget the big 3, it's a big 4. No, it's not. And that's nothing against Melo. I firmly think he deserved that spot on the All-75 team. Did you have any issue with that, Rob?
Nah, not really, because
you debated me on you don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, which I do.
Yeah.
This seals him as one, obviously, but
yeah, do I have an issue with him not, you saying?
no, he's on the All-75
Right.
team.
No, because of the record. What did he just have with the points or
He's
whatever?
the 9th leading scorer
Right.
of all time.
I mean, that
Yeah.
you can't. It's hard to deny that.
Right.
It's hard to deny that. But I don't think the Hall of Fame is just about stacking stats. And I'm not saying that that's what he did. But when you look at some of the greatest players and all the other stuff you take into consideration, I don't think Chris Webber's a Hall of Famer. That's just me.
Right, and he is. I mean,
don't.
but he made it. Right. But here's the thing, Rob.
I don't think Tracy McGrady's a Hall of Famer.
Melo's going to be in because to make the All-75 team,
No, he has
that's
to
more
be.
prestigious than the Hall of Fame.
Right. No, right.
Yeah.
Because remember, it's not the NBA Hall of Fame. So he's already been crowned in the NBA, Chris. Right.
And
You're talking
then
about 75
his
players.
college career was better than not better. It was only 1 year, but he won a championship.
But he was great.
Right.
He was great in college.
And then Olympics and all that. He's been a great Olympian. Did you think Darius Bazley's dunk at the end of the game was disrespectful? And just overall, as Russell Westbrook said, is it too much for
It's an
guys to
unwritten
go ahead
rule
and
in basketball.
score,
Really?
at the bottom, at the end of a game like that? All right, your turn to win.
All right, let's start with Dr. T, not Mr. T. Dr. T in San Antonio. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up?
Hey, what's up, fellas? Long time listener, man. First time getting through. What's up, fellas?
Good to hear from you, my man.
Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, that dunk by Bazley, there was nothing wrong with it, man. Because you know what? If it was on the other foot, Russell would have done the same thing and even more, man.
Right. It was a
We
natural
agree
play,
totally
too. Chris said
Absolutely.
it. He used the term momentum. It was a steal. He stepped in front of a lazy pass, Chris, right?
Right. Absolutely. Nothing wrong with what he did. Nothing
Not
at
at all.
all.
That's-
At all.
Yep.
Fella, if Russell Westbrook probably would have got in the old boy's face, he probably would have been there teasing him, taunting him, and all that stuff, man. So, man, Russ, you need to get out of here, man. Just get over it, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a bad look for him last night, no doubt. How about Vince in Maryland? You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What up, Vince?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
How
What's
you?
up?
I'm good, man. I'm good. A long-time listener, first-time caller.
Wow.
So appreciate y'all for
Another
having me.
one. Thank you, man. We appreciate the support. Where you at in Maryland?
Right outside Baltimore, man. I'm in Severn.
Okay.
Okay.
My best friend lives in Germantown,
Okay.
in Maryland. So, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, but about Russ, man, he can miss me with that, man, because he's the main one that's rocking the baby on people. Just last night, he was acting the fool when he was playing good.
Right.
So
Right.
just
They were
'cause somebody
clowning. They were clowning
right.
OKC. Yes.
All right. So once he got stunted on, now he want to get all in his feelings. Nah, I'm not with
I'm
it.
totally with you, man.
Thanks,
don't nobody
Vince.
want to hear that. That's ridiculous.
Right. He's right. And
Absolutely
Chris,
ridiculous.
That was it. They were disrespecting OKC early when
Oh,
they were
yeah.
pouring it on.
Oh, yeah.
I was
Front
expecting Anthony Davis to come out with a bucket of confetti. You know what I mean? Like, they were playing the Washington Generals.
Riders, right?
At least in the first half.
Right.
Chris, in Akron, Ohio, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. And no, Chris didn't grow up there. He wasn't born there. He's a
Worked at the
fraudulent.
Akron Beacon Journal, though.
Yes, he did work there.
Yes,
What up, Chris?
yes.
How you guys doing?
Good,
great.
man. How are you?
It's awesome to talk to you guys. Yeah, I have the same response to the last two callers, and I'm a first-time caller myself, and your show is awesome. But,
Appreciate it.
Yeah, why is it cool for him to go for a triple-double at the end of a game, and
point.
this young guy's going to, solidify the game like you guys said. I didn't even see the play, and I'm just hearing it on the radio, and it's crazy.
Right.
Yep.
It was a bounce pass. It was lazy, and he stepped in front of it, took it, and it was straight to the clear path. Chris, right? No defenders.
It was
in front
just
of
a
him.
clean play. Yeah, no problem with the play whatsoever.
No
None
doubt.
at all.
And,
All right.
and real quick, Chris, before we came back from the break, we saw this thing from PETA. We were chuckling, shaking our heads. But Rob G sent us this story, and PETA, is always trying to protect animals or whatever. So they have sent a thing to Major League Baseball. Basically, PETA is calling from MLB to drop the term bullpen and go with a more animal-friendly arm barn instead. There's Chris Broussard warming up in the arm barn. That's what they want you to call it instead of a bullpen.
And look, I'll say this. If we grew up, Rob, and the term historically being used was arm barn, we'd be used to it, right? It'd be fine. We'd have no issue with it. But this is ridiculous. First of all, are the animals offended?
Right. Can we
Do
get
the
a can we
bulls
get a
care?
Can we get a
No.
bull on the phone? And
And
Chris,
if they
here's the
do,
other
you
thing.
don't know. The PETA don't know if they care or not.
But this is my thing.
Ridiculous.
Is it
we
the
eat animals.
Is it the
I'm
dead
serious.
bullpen?
I mean, we eat animals. You telling me we can't name a bullpen after them? We eat them.
Right.
Once we stop eating them, then we'll do all right by them and all that. Come on. And I'm not an animal. I got a dog. My daughter's got a dog that we love. Is in the house all the time. It ain't about being against animals, but stop it.
And Alex, the
animals
they
don't
don't.
know.
The bulls don't go to college. They don't
This
buy
is-
a house.
Rob, this is
Well,
crazy.
geez, I mean, no little stream there, Rob.
I mean,
All right, now
we
let me
eat
ask you this,
animals.
Alex, real
Alex
quick.
don't eat animals.
No, I do not.
Bullpen. Are you bothered by bullpen?
No, not at all, bro. Like, see, again, that's the issue we live in this society is we like to overinflate issues that should be underinflated and underinflate issues that should be overinflated.
Right.
And this is a perfect example.
Right. That
Absolutely.
that
This
doesn't
is
do
going
it.
too
It's
far.
not even a derogatory or anything negative to an animal. It's a bullpen where you keep bulls.
100%.
That's all.
I'm sorry. Somebody's gonna be offended by everything. Just stop it. And this isn't even somebody. These are bulls. When the bulls say to you, PETA, you know what? I hate that term bullpen. Then we'll talk. All right. Until then, keep quiet.
Hey, I see the cows. They go to Chick-fil-A all the time for lunch. So
They do.
Gosh. Freaking Rob.
We gonna get a notice from PETA. I'm sorry, PETA, but we support you. I support
Hey,
what you
Peter,
do, but this
one
is
of
just
those
going a
one of
little
those
too far.
cows you're trying
Did
to
you call
protect.
him Peter?
Yeah, PETA, PETA. I said one of those cows they try to protect. I'll have it on a pita bread. Can I have it on a pita bread?
Oh, Rob.
Oh, here you go.
Stop making enemies for
You're
the show.
definitely getting a letter from PETA. Number one for that comment, and then also that they protect animals or whatever. Like, I doubt that one went over well in the PETA headquarters, wherever that's at.